list. There's my gear that I got. Spreadsheet gear. Except I left the computer.
What did you have for cost of living?
Oh, I'm on a ship.
Oh, I just kind of skipped it.
Well, cost of living,
I didn't see it.
I didn't put it in there, but I mean, it depends on what you do. So if you're on a ship,
I just was scrolling.
Where are you going to spend the money?
I don't know.
We don't have stores on the ship.
I don't know how much money we have. I mean, I rolled I want a pension. Where's my pension?
Let's see.
Guess it was only 12 years. You need 20. Where's Anthony? Where's Anthony?
Foosball.
Foosball?
Mm-hmm.
Is he like in a league?
I don't know. Football.
Oh.
That foosball's the devil.
Playing the foosball.
That foosball's the devil.
You don't play that foosball. You stay here with your mom.
Well, let's see.
I never showed you guys that movie. I'll have to watch The Water Boy one of these days. It's a good one.
So it says average supply cost of living varies based on central supply or the core book, but
I'm gonna
it's
keep my money.
$400 to $1,200 a month, I believe it is. Yeah, a month.
One burger standing up in a fast food restaurant, and the burger consists of unidentifiable meat-like substances, is 2 to 3 credits. I just know that because I was reading this for like 2 hours last night.
It says 1 credit is about $5 today.
So did we ever figure out the whole backstory? Did everybody get that?
I put my story that I came up with in chat.
Yeah.
Facebook chat.
I figured that you used to own the ship, and that's where it got its name, but you fell in hard times and had to sell it, and it got bought out, and that's why you're still on the ship, because you know all about the ship, but it's not your ship.
That makes sense. I like that.
No, I needed to talk to these youngins.
And
I was thinking we met at a bar fight, and then I followed around with them, because they've got more lucrative skills.
See, you're
than I
a
am.
barber.
Give me hired.
Fenris.
I was trying to
is my
remember.
name.
Fenris?
Fenris.
So I was in the police and undercover and broke a big Wagner criminal operation, and now I'm out. That was it. It was too bloody and gross. So now I'm just being a chef on the ship.
Got a couple of ex-cops.
And then we were from the Navy. So,
welcome to travel. I'm going to leave this door open because it lets in some of the cooler air. I was telling Carl that I haven't successfully dug the other air conditioner out yet, but that will go in here. Welcome to Traveler, Mission to Mithril. This is going to be our short one-off. I anticipate this session and one more, and for completion. We're just kind of taking a little break from D&D. Before we get started, I'd like to thank the Friends of the Greenwater Guildhall. If you're watching on Twitch, you can scroll down and you will see some tiles. If you don't see the tiles, click on my profile image and they should pop up. The first on the list is TNC. That is Talon Claw. They make beautiful wooden gaming accessories for your tabletop games, such as wooden DM screens, dice vaults, dice trays, drink coasters, all manner of good things. So you definitely check them out. Next on the list is the Speechless Bard. She makes leather goods such as leather sheaths for your core rule books. She has a line of leather dice bracelets and a bunch of dice rolling mats that look like scrolls when you roll them up. They're pretty nice. All of it is hand stitched, hand painted, and hand stamped. She is in the UK, so if you're going to order from her, make sure that you allow for a little bit of time, because evidently US Customs thinks that leather products explode. I'm not sure what the deal with that is. And last on the list is the Fable Beard Company. They make beard products such as oils, balms, butters, and co-wash. Each scent profile is a different fantasy character. Right now I am wearing the Hero, which smells like warm cologne and rich tobacco, which actually smells a lot better than it sounds. It's not burning tobacco. They have a deal where if you're a first-time buyer, pick out 2 oils and use the code FIRST, and it will discount one of the oils to free. So go ahead and pick yourself up a couple of oils. Last session, we did a session 0. These guys created characters. Now, I can tell you, in my experience, and I have over 40 years of experience with role-playing games, I can tell you that usually, 9 times out of 10, if you can figure out how to make characters, that will teach you 90% of the game. Traveler's not like that at all. Like, most of the creation has absolutely jack all to do with the game. So it's all over the place. The good news is, since you guys usually play Dungeons and Dragons 5th edition, you already know how to play this game. That's how, take D&D and make it even simpler. So the base requirement that I tell people, you'll need 3d6. Usually you're only going to be rolling 2. And so if you want to do something, you tell me what it is you want to do, or I'll tell you that it's going to require a specific skill. You roll 2d6, you add your characteristic DM, and you add your skill level. So, who's our pilot? Let me guess, it was Anthony.
It was Anthony.
Motherfucker.
Yeah, it's Anthony.
I can pilot.
You got piloting, right?
Yeah, I was
So-
hired as the
As the backup.
the chef, but
You're the Steven Seagal.
Yeah, he was sick, so I have to fill in.
Well, that works. It's always good to have 2 pilots. So let's say that you are going to try to dock with or you're going to land on a planet. Typically, depending on conditions, but typically that's going to be considered a routine check. So a routine check means that you would have to hit 6 or better. So you roll 2d6, you add your dexterity DM plus your piloting level to the dice roll, and if you get 6 or better, you succeed.
All right.
It's,
Dexterity plus pilot plus 2d6.
yep,
All right, well, whatever. So that would be 9, 10.
there you go.
My pilot
So,
is 0.
and that brings up a really good point. So you got 4 over. So Traveler takes into effect not just that you succeed or fail, but how well or terrible you succeed or fail. So you got a 10, that's 4 over. That doesn't really do anything. 1 to 5 is just average. But let's say that you got 6 or more, that would be considered an exceptional success. So let's say that you got, a 14. You didn't just land the ship, you came in, did a loop and a barrel roll and landed with flourish.
Right.
Now that carries over to weapons as well. So let's say that Gabe pulls out an advanced combat rifle and shoots somebody, which would be 2d6 plus his dexterity DM plus his gun combat slug, and he rolls, and let's say that he gets a 10. So usually on a combat check, it's going to be average, which would be 8 plus. If he got a 10, so he's 2 over. He can take that 2 over and add it to the damage. So now, just like D&D has advantage and disadvantage, Traveler has boon and bane. So if there is some extraneous circumstance, you might be given a boon dice where you roll 3d6 and you take the 2 highest. If you're given a bane dice, you roll 3d6 and you take the 2 lowest.
I see.
So one of the examples that they give is you're hanging upside down underneath your spaceship as it flies through the atmosphere, and you want to make a cell phone call. Well, a cell phone call is an easy thing to do, so you'd have to get 4+. But it's probably a Bane dice because you're hanging upside down underneath your ship flying through the atmosphere.
Well, not just through empty space, through the atmosphere.
Right.
Oh, so.
Yeah. Yeah, you're already in Atmos, so yeah, you're gonna get some buffering. One turn, your turn, is 6 seconds. Now, there are 2 different timetables. So if you are on the ground in person, you pull out your pistol and you shoot, time is 6 seconds per turn. In space, initiative and everything is a little bit different. So initiative is rolled per ship, and then you just kind of go around the table, everybody doing what they do on the ship. That turn is 6 minutes. And the reason is because the distances are so vast. So a lot of times in space combat, you'll see things like, well, I'm going to launch missiles at the target. Okay, well, all right, we launched the missiles. We're going to have to wait 2 rounds, 12 minutes before they even reach their destination. Then we'll find out what the result is. And whether or not they shoot anything down. So things like that. And a lot of this that I'm explaining, I'll explain more and do some more hand holding than I normally do with when we get into situations. Now, what can you do in a turn? Hold on here. Let me.
I don't know, Chris. What can you do in a turn?
Minor actions, right?
I will tell you what you can do in a turn. So in a turn, on your turn, you can perform a significant action and 1 minor action, or you can perform 3 minor actions. You may also perform any number of reactions you want. You could perform any number of free actions, within feasibility. Now, let's discuss what these are. Significant actions would be, obviously, you make an attack. You make a melee attack, ranged attack, whichever. Applying first aid to a wounded comrade. Trying to bypass security system to gain access to a bunker. Using a psychic power. Issuing orders to followers or calling in an artillery strike. Artillery being orbital. Or artillery. Minor actions, aiming. So on your turn, you can say, I'm not going to do anything else. I'm going to aim with my minor action, and then I'm going to shoot with my significant action. The aiming gives you a +1 automatically to your roll to hit. You can change stance. You can stand, crouch, or lie prone as a minor action. Drawing a weapon and reloading are a minor action. Movement is a minor action, and movement is divested of having its own action in a turn. It is a minor action for Traveler. Everybody on a minor action can move 6 meters. So if you choose, instead of doing a significant and a minor action, and to do 3, that means you can move 18 meters on your turn. Other examples of minor actions: spotting a good sniping position, identifying equipment used by an enemy, picking something up off the ground or a nearby surface. Now, reactions. Dodging, diving for cover, parrying with, everybody can parry with a sword. Now, when I say that you can perform as many of those as you want, you can. So let's say that the bad guys throw a grenade at Liam, and Liam uses the dodge reaction to duck behind cover. Then, when he gets behind the cover, he finds out there's some space ninja, and pulls his sword, and Liam parries the sword with the butt of his rifle. When it comes back around and it is Liam's turn, because he did 2 reactions, he's at -2 for any of his actions that he does that turn. Does that make sense? If you only dodged, you only be at -1. If you dodge, dive for cover, and parry, you'd be at -3. So for each reaction, you're at -1 on your next turn. and last but not least, there is this wonderful thing called task chains. So a task chain is where one person comes up with an idea to use their skill to help another person using a different skill. So let's say that Gabe is trying to use the electronic sensor skill, and Alyssa says, hey, you know, I bet if I went down to the computer, I could boost the sensor skill. So Alyssa could go to the computer and make her computer, or her electronics computer check, which would then give, depending on how well she succeeded, would give Gabe a bonus on his electronic sensors check. And that quite literally is how everything in the game plays. It's really, really easy. Trying to think if I meant... Oh, so now in the Traveler core rulebook, it talks about leveling up, and I do not use the rules in the Traveler core rulebook. So the way they had it done was that you would say, oh, well, I want to study to learn melee blade, and so then you have to spend a certain number of weeks studying and practicing, and then at the end of that you make whatever check is required. In this case, I guess it would be either dexterity or strength, to see if you gain a level in the skill. Well, the problem that I have with that is that every time your ship goes into jump space, you are in jump space for a week with pretty much nothing else to do. If you're traveling a long ways, in one game session, you could theoretically have your players level up multiple skills.
Oh yeah.
You know, and it kind of gets ridiculous. So instead, I use the alternate roles out of the Traveler Companion, and training and experience. So at the end of each adventure, roughly, you will get one, maybe in some cases two, and I think in this one you'll get one, skill points, or excuse me, XP points. In this book, there's a chart. So you can either spend this XP point to gain skills or characteristics, and the way that works is if you want to gain a new skill at level 0, then that would cost you 1 point. If you wanted to raise a skill from 1 to 2, that would cost 1 point. From there, if you wanted to go 2 to 3, it'd cost you 2 points. If you want to go 3 to 4, it costs 3 points. Now with characteristics, strength, dexterity, and endurance are basically a 1-for-1. If you, let's say that you have a 7 in strength, it would cost you 7 points to go to 8. Very simple. And like I said, you can save these. If you wanted to increase intelligence or intellect or education, it's a 2-for-1. So to go from 7 education, yeah, it costs you 14 points. So it's more difficult to raise your intelligence or your mental scores than it is to raise your physical scores. Yeah, it kind of does, yeah. And like I said, at the end of each adventure, I will dole out 1 or 2 points, usually 1. Oh, and last but not least, yes, sir?
I just had a dumb skill question.
Okay.
So if I have a skill that went from 1 to 2, what happens to the other skills? Do they go to 1 or are they still at 0?
So, no. They would stay at 0. So you're talking about specialties?
Yeah.
So specialties, and we kind of touched base on this. I kept telling everybody, okay, we'll pick a specialty. So let's say that you have gun combat, slug, at rank 1. That also means that you have gun combat archaic and gun combat energy, but they're at 0. So they're 1 level below. But in this case, if you go, let's say that you took slug to 2, they're still at 0 because you haven't done anything with them.
So if I have pilot spacecraft 1, and I can pilot other things at 0.
Correct. Yeah, you could pilot small craft at 0. You could forget what
And that-
pilot fighter at 0.
If you have
And that just means that I don't add anything to my rolls, right? If
Right.
I have a 0 skill in it means I can do it. I just not
Right,
good,
you would add
not
your-
good enough to add a bonus.
You in that case for piloting, you would add your Dex DM, but nothing for skill.
Got it.
That is a stronger system called Smaug.
Smaug.
Smaug, right next to
Alright.
Mithril.
I am looking forward to seeing how Streetwise pans out in game because I put a bunch of points into that.
Yeah, I've got 3. I'm sure you have.
Yeah, I got 3 too.
You guys are a bunch of criminals.
I'm streetwise because I infiltrated a bunch of criminals.
That's true. You guys are.
Streetwise because I grew up on the streets.
You could be mob bosses.
Most of my streetwise is on those stinking marker. But I just, if you didn't react, I wouldn't do it as much.
No.
I'm a space racist.
Space racist.
I just remembered what the salamander people are called. The Wap.
Was that pigs in space?
On the way here, we were talking about how we would like it if the Vargir had like Russian accents.
Oh yes.
That's like what I'm hearing in my head when Vargir talk. And
You're just to have the Swedish accent. Jordan. Hello.
No, not good enough.
He's got a horrible Swedish accent. But this is the year 2793 or something. They've
So it's not
embraced the
Swedish.
mockery.
What is that? They have a fermented shark.
Oh.
One of those countries has like a fermented shark.
Let's see.
It's like their delicacy. I can't remember which one. I want to say it's Sweden and Norway, but I can't remember what it's called.
Oh gosh, I don't know. There's pickled herring.
Yeah.
That's a kind of a Scandinavian thing.
Pickled fish is not my scene. I'm not a pickled
There you go, it's
kind of
called-
person. I don't do
called
sauerkraut or kimchi either.
It's Hakarl.
Sauerkraut was amazing.
Halkarl? I'm not sure how you pronounce it.
Yeah. Huh. I don't know.
Yeah.
I didn't. I don't think I've ever heard of it. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's like there's a shark, I think it's like a 6-gilled shark or something. It's a really deep, cold water shark. And they let it sit, they let it ferment for itself for a long time. Apparently it's got a lot of like ammonia in it. Like initially it's like poisonous, so they just let it sit and ferment and it drains off all this nasty
I know
stuff.
what shark you're talking about. That one
Yeah.
was actually only discovered within the last 100 years because it was just it lives so deep
Yeah.
under the ocean.
Or maybe I'm confused. I don't know. Something like that.
One was found with an entire reindeer skeleton inside of its stomach.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh.
because they're bottom feeders.
Oh. Huh.
Like they eat dead whales and stuff.
Oh, so this is the Jewish food or whatever, the gefilte fish.
fish.
What is that?
It's another one of those foods. We'll look it up.
I think of it like sardines jammed in
Oh,
a
no,
bottle or
it's
something,
worse
but I don't know
than
what
that.
it is.
So you know pill bugs, right?
Pill bugs? Yeah.
Pill bugs.
Uh-huh.
There's an underwater species of that.
The trilobites?
No.
Mm.
They eat the fish's tongue and then become
Oh,
the fish.
those!
Yeah.
Yes, the parasite that latches on to the tongue.
Recently, they've been found on the bottom, and they're like this big,
Oh god. Well,
and they have actual pincers, and they're kind of dangerous.
like the sperm whale.
Actually, I heard
take
they
over.
weren't that dangerous.
Hmm?
Because they eat blood, but they replace the creature's tongue.
Yeah.
Yes, but I mean, I'm talking about the bigger ones, the ones that eat on the bottom of the ocean.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Or
They are very slow, and they can only breathe for a little while above water. But
take over orcas.
But they're quite slow. But their bite can take off a finger.
They should take over orcas. Because orcas have a tongue, a big male tongue, about the right size. So.
Orcas are mean, but I mean,
Big honking dolphins.
big dolphins that play with their food.
Like cats and humans.
But my argument against people being like, ooh, orcas are cruel, they toss penguins and seals around before eating them. Well, we chase animals that have no way to defend themselves with weapons that are used to kill each other. So, I mean, it was really more cruel here.
I think killing in and of itself isn't cruel yet because there's not an option. Now, if we make manufactured food, like, we have vats where we can grow meat, then killing becomes cruel. But right now it's not cruel, it's required. And then killing quickly and painlessly is not cruel because killing is required. So instant kill is as good as you're going to get.
Yeah.
But torturing and burning and doing that kind of, and just letting them suffer, that's needlessly cruel. Especially, or killing for no reason, just to have a blast.
Apparently it's just poached fish. Just say poached.
Does it say, could it be any kind of fish, or is it?
Pretty much, I think.
But yeah,
It's
I
like
pull.
carp or whitefish, pike, pretty much anything.
Okay.
It's kind of generally whitefish.
So,
I thought it was treated with lye, but I could be wrong. I know.
I'm a big fan of technology because I hope that someday we can tell nature to go suck eggs because we're going to make our own food.
We can. It's just expensive.
Expensive means it uses a lot of resources.
But
So you can't do the whole world that way yet.
there is a way, to grow fresh beef, but it requires blood from the heart of an unborn
From the
cow.
blood. Sweet!
Yeah!
I like this.
We should do that!
What game is this?
This is metal, man.
Right?
No, but it just also
World of Warcraft, as done by Death Clock. There is one last rule, and aside from the golden rule of make sure you have fun, it is probably the most important rule.
The DM is always right.
Well, that too. The last most important rule is that you cannot have more levels and skills than your intellect score plus your education score multiplied by 3.
Oh, good. Well, I got lots of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, that's going to be a number that's pretty big that you probably don't have to worry about that.
Yeah.
But something to keep in the back of your head.
so I can't.
Well,
I can't
then you
give
got-
up level 33.
If you wanted to order some pizza, I'm totally down to
yes.
throw
Yeah.
down on that.
Yes.
Me too.
As
Hold
long
on
as you
here.
don't mind if I pay you via Venmo
No, that's fine.
or the
Or-
whatever it is we
Or
use.
PayPal or
PayPal,
whatever
yeah,
you want to
the
do.
thing that we use. PayPal.
Yeah, that is fine. Let's
So
me.
there's gefilte fish.
And I realize
There's
that I have not
also
paid you for this
lutefisk.
month yet either,
Lutefisk.
so I'll just
And
do that
lutefisk
all
is made
tonight.
with
Do it all in
raw
one.
yes.
That works.
If
Yeah.
that's all right with you.
Okay.
Can you imagine eating fish that's made with bleach, basically?
It's a cat face meow.
I
Oh,
mean, people were hungry. I think a whole lot of this stuff came about when people were starving.
They would have to.
Because who would just do this?
Or maybe there was a time of plenty, because who would go, yeah, I know what I need to do to this. Let's pour bleach on it and see if it tastes better.
Well, and you know what? You really want to go down the rabbit hole. Everything, and I mean everything except for manufactured atoms of of atomic weights over 200 or whatever. Everything has been eaten. Humans, at some point or another, have put
Yeah.
every freaking thing on this planet into their mouth to see what it does.
Yeah.
And that is just truly disgusting.
I was about
Yeah,
to say, what
somebody
about
out
human
there,
feces
you
that are
saw
like,
a
oh.
nice little mushroom sitting on the biggest cow turd
Yeah.
you've ever seen, and you were like, "That's my mushroom. I want the one that's growing on top
They
of the
ate
cow
the
turd."
cow turd.
They were tripping
I
for hours.
swear.
Yeah, that too.
They have eaten the cow turd. I swear.
No, they do. There was a native tribe that followed caribou around, I think in like Arctic areas, tundras.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Siberia or some shit, but they follow herds of reindeer and elk and stuff around
That's
because
what
they would
Santa
eat this psychedelic lichen.
eats.
That humans can't eat the lichen, but if humans like, I don't know,
Eat the poo.
eat the poo or something like that,
Then you can
or-
get high.
Then you can get high. But who in their right mind was like, you know what?
You know, I've eaten this poo, this poo, this poo, this poo, this poo.
And so
but
far, none of
that
them have done
one, that's
anything.
the best poo there is out there.
Well, it gets.
Ew.
Although
No,
it's
humans
not
are
as,
disgusting. 100%. Absolutely nasty.
It's awful.
although it's not as gross, what boggles my mind is there are some like indigenous drugs that are like 2-stage.
Mm-hmm.
Like you eat this, but then you have to eat this after to make it do whatever it's going to
Mhm.
do.
Yeah.
Like, how did you figure out that? How much
Because
time
they
did you
ate
have?
They said
everything.
like the plants speak to us.
Or the ones where like, you know, one person like has something and then other people drink their pee or whatever and like the pee gets,
Really?
the pee gets recycled. Yeah, because
Oh.
you don't want to, you don't want to lose all that potent psychedelic.
Really?
Oh my
I've
God.
never heard that
It's
one.
so gross. People are gross.
It's super true.
It's just.
Makes butt chugging seem downright archaic.
Yeah. I mean, human centipede came from somewhere.
Ain't nothing wrong with a little bit of butt chugging, you know?
Yeah, there is.
That's just a Tuesday. I don't know about you.
Actually,
As soon
yeah.
as you said centipede, disgusting image went in my mind.
Well, you know, we're lucky. We're wealthy and we have all this good stuff, so we can afford to have these sensibilities that stuff is gross.
It's true.
If we were desperate, it wouldn't be gross. It would be like, oh, well, yeah, there's some shit. Let's eat it.
Haven't found anything else around here to eat.
There's some rocks. I mean, people ate rocks. People have eaten everything.
What?
Oh, my friend in San Antonio is. He says he's chatting on the channel because I sent him the link to this. So he's listening to all this disgusting. I don't know how to look at the channel.
Hey, you gotta talk about something while you're passing the downtime.
Shout
It's
out
all-
to Ben. Hi, Ben.
Hi, Ben.
Hello,
Hi,
Ben.
Ben.
No, this is all
All right,
roleplay.
so
this
Ben,
is what our characters are talking
yeah,
about at the
what kind
mess
of pizza
hall
did you want?
table, you
Well,
We get out
pepperoni's
to
fine with
space
me.
and we start eating new things. Let's give it to Rolf. He'll eat anything. Okay, sure. We have to bring some omnivorous moron along board just to find out what's edible and what isn't.
Actually, pretty sure that Anthony's.
This guy will eat anything. Bring him.
Wait, no, I'm pretty sure Anthony's name for his character is actually Ralph.
Brady said he was interested
Oh,
in
was
doing
it?
all
I think
kinds
so.
of
I'm
experiments.
Oh my
Sure.
god.
Maybe some of them are food related.
Let's see. So what's our link to this thing? I want to see. Where's he chatting?
If you go to twitch.tv/DM Center, that should. Okay. Try this again.
Don't do it. You'll get caught in an inception loop. You're part of the broadcast. You can't watch
It
it.
is.
No, Jesse!
It's Twitch/TV.
Says no, that's not
You-
Twitch,
No, those
twitch.tv
phones are
Okay.
gross.
/DM Center, SYNTHER. Okay, so.
Cassie, are you in a mood today?
She's bored of the humans.
Oh, good. Nobody can't see me, so I'm cut out of the picture. Oh, this is perfect.
Oh.
Is it just Chris's shining carpet?
Yeah.
No, it's showing the table.
Flash.
Melissa and Liam, what kind of pizza did you want?
I like veggies on mine.
Okay.
I like pizza.
Just, you don't care.
Liam likes pizza.
Okay. How about a Pacific veggie?
Yeah, sounds good.
Alright.
What kind of pizza do you want? Pizza flavor.
Yeah,
I
the
want
pizza
delivered
flavor.
pizza.
And Carl.
Me? I don't care. I'm not gonna eat a whole pizza, so I will leverage off of somebody else's.
Okay. We could do that. I'm perfectly happy to share. Okay.
As long as it doesn't have anchovies, because I don't understand why the hell anybody ever put anchovies.
Anchovies are good.
Oh, God, you're part of the problem. You'll eat anything. Oh, I knew it.
I love sardines, but I can only have like 3 anchovies until I'm saltied out.
I probably couldn't get over the bones and eyeballs.
Yeah. This is the only one of my kids that really enjoys like canned tiny fish.
And tiny fish.
Mm-hmm. He's had them in mustard and
I
hot sauce
love-
and.
I love eating sardines.
I hate sardines and barbecue sauce because I had sardines and barbecue sauce. It was disgusting.
You like the barbecue sauce? What about the Louisiana hot sauce?
Those ones were pretty good.
Oh, no.
Did you like the mustard ones?
They're the best.
The mustard ones are the best. No contest, huh?
How can the username Carl Bargainer be unavailable because it's already being used?
That's a good question.
Somebody stole your identity.
No, maybe. Fuyuga
I
Fred.
don't know. I just started typing. I was wondering if it was just gonna ding me on anything and everything, but apparently not. Let's see.
Fartmaster 69? Is that one taken?
Yeah, I'll bet. Easy.
Beef muncher?
Okay, Fartmaster is taken,
Oh,
and Fartmaster 69 is unavailable.
I knew it!
Curse you, Fartmaster 69!
Not bad.
Twist, he's one of the viewers.
He's a moderator. I'll never get on now. Oh, let's see. Oh, okay. So
Yeah,
now how do I make this work on this thing? Anyway, so we'll go back. See, the only way I could check. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Can I send a message now? What if I don't do that? Can I do that? No.
No, it says no, you don't get to talk.
Yeah, I
with
can't
other
talk.
human
I
beings.
can't talk to you because I have to have an account because it won't run on just the internet.
Won't run on their system.
Well, I can see it. I can see it, and I
Oh,
can
someone
see the
says-
chat.
Someone says you're in the mirror.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm in the mirror. There. Okay, there we go. Hi, Ben. So screw this chat noise. I'm just gonna. I'll just talk to you. You can text me if you want me to say something.
Hi, chat.
So was Anthony gonna be Varger?
He is.
He is.
That's our backstory. We're named
So
Vargas.
you're the only Varger
Tomax?
now?
No.
No, there's 2 of them.
Yeah.
Him and Anthony.
Well, Anthony's not here. We spaced him.
Oh, spaced him early?
Wow.
Well, he would be piloting the ship if he was here.
But yeah, we're Navy buddies.
He's real
That's our
dumb. You
backstory.
told him to get on the ship, he got on the ship.
No.
Not in it.
Mm-hmm. Well, yeah, he was our designated taster.
What's this? Is this a food spot or waste disposal?
Okay, so you know, it just occurred to me when we do find aliens. How long is it going to be before someone wonders what they taste like? I mean,
I'm sure they are.
I'm thinking minutes,
Immediately.
seconds. There's like, you know, going to be 10 billion of us on the planet at that point.
Right after you hear they're coming right for us.
Oh, there was a neat news story about UFOs and videos that had come out. Like, they showed some pretty amazing Pentagon admitted videos from airplanes of these triangles that are flying. The guy was flying his airplane to intercept, and he took his
All right,
cell phone.
they are prepping our pizzas, and they are on their way.
Hooray!
Yay!
That was more difficult than I expected. But... Ah,
The most like shapes of it.
so,
I watched like 4 YouTube videos, like on the most likely and most logical shapes that an alien civilization would have of like a ship, like either a triangle, probably,
okay.
or like a circle, sphere, for space travel.
I think that's the first time I ever spent $70.
Because there's no equipment.
Okay, so you guys, we will just go ahead and get started while we're waiting for pizzas to arrive. So you guys have been operating on the S. Bindersmith. Is that the name that we decided on? We believe.
Yep.
It's not Part Master 69.
Bodie McBoatface. The S. Bindersmith is a Type R subsidized merchant. Now, Brady and Colby's characters have made some modifications.
What?
Since Colby owns the ship and Brady's rich, you know, they kind of get to do what they want to do.
Are they related?
I don't think so.
No?
You guys aren't related, right?
No.
They're just best friends.
Like Bert and Ernie.
So, let's see, we've got Raph. Who is playing Smith and Wesson?
Me.
Okay.
That doesn't have.
Brady, what is your character's name? Or are you Smith and Wesson?
I think he went up to get dinner.
Oh, okay. Gabe, what is your character's name?
Carlos Gessick. Goose. Carlos Goose Gessick.
Carlos the goose.
And I've already got Raph. Liam, what is your character's name?
So my Wagner name is Fenris, but my human name is Calvin White.
Okay. Calvin Fenris White. Boy, you really went white bread with your human name. You're an alien. What's your name? Calvin White.
I don't know. I tried to make something that sounded generic, but not overly generic.
You did a good job. Carl, what's your character's name?
I am Bjorn
that's
Svensson from the Imperial Empire of Sweden.
Okay. Is Brady back? No. We'll give him just a minute. Anyways, you guys are aboard the S. Bittersmith, and the two rich people made some modifications to the ship. Now, it doesn't matter at all for you guys. So to tell you how big a subsidized merchant is, subsidized merchant's cargo hold, if it was just a little bit wider, you could land a far trader and swallow it inside your ship.
Mm-hmm.
But alas, the doors are not quite that big. No, I don't have.
They're not as big as a Star Destroyer.
Yeah, you're not that big. You're 400 tons though, so. This is the isometric layout of the S. Bindersmith. Now, its nickname is the Fat Trader. These are subsidized merchants that are designed to ply specific localized areas. So maybe just a subsector of space. They only have jump 1. I believe they only have thrust 1. So these are not
Sporty.
they're not quick. They're designed to haul cargo, and that's it. However, at 400 tons, it can have up to 4 turrets on it. And yeah, thrust 1, jump 1, with a fusion power plant that provides 135 points of power. So the nice thing is it's got more than enough power to do whatever it needs to do. It does have a fuel scoop, and it's got docking space on the back top of the ship. I can... That's not it. Here it is. So back here, there is a docking space, and in there is a small launch. The launch has enough cargo space that if you want to, you could park an ATV in there. So you can go down planet side and you have a vehicle to drive around on. We haven't really bothered with any of this yet. Normally these things are not armed. They're trade ships. Now, it has, to tell you how much cargo space, itself is 400 tons. Its cargo space is 201 metric tons. So it's 400 displaced tons. That's hydrogen, displacing hydrogen. And it has 201 metric tons of just cargo. So, I mean, this thing is just cavernous. And you are plying the space lanes along the border with, between the Third Imperium and the Sword Worlds Confederation. So it is very likely that you launched from Olympia, which is a it is a water world, high tech, high population. You probably loaded up with a bunch of cargo, and you are probably heading towards Caliburn, or maybe Calibolg. And of course, you're going to do this route, and you expect to do some trading along the way. Now, coming into the Mithril system, well, I guess first of all we will get this underway. Who is going to do astrogation?
I've got astrogation 1.
That's pretty good.
And I can help with piloting. I got no astrogation. I got navigation.
So go ahead and make an astrogation check, and you are leaving Olympia.
And what stat does it use?
So it would be education DM plus your astrogation level.
Total of 13.
Perfect. You set a course. Go ahead and make a piloting check. Routine, so 6+ to launch.
Way over.
Okay, so you take off in a spectacular manner. And the last question is, who's the engineer? That would be you. Do you have engineering J drive?
I have engineering 3 in J drive.
Excellent. So to make a jump, that is your bailiwick. Go ahead and roll 2d6 plus your education modifier plus your J drive level.
10.
Perfect. There's no misjump. Everything goes as planned. So, one here.
You know, I signed up to be the cook, and I am the pilot and the astrogator. I think I need a raise.
I'm gonna go ahead.
Right?
I'm gonna go ahead and direct you to those rich-looking gentlemen over there in the back of the ship.
So these two made some modifications to the ship. So normally this ship has 19 staterooms. I mean, you could really field a crew. There's just you guys. So each of you don't have to worry about double occupancy. Each of you can have a room. And then these guys ripped out 6 of those, and they put in a double wide med bay, a double wide science lab, and then a double wide workshop. So they've got you covered as far as that whole thing goes. So you spend a week in jump space, which is usually fairly boring downtime. Is there anything in particular that you guys want to do during that week?
I will patrol the outside of the ship doing EVAs to scrape off any of the
I don't
space
recommend
slugs.
doing that in jump space.
Well, the space slugs accumulate, and I don't want the aerodynamics to be affected.
So as an example, so here's how jump space works. Your jump drive, you have fuel tanks that are full of hydrogen. Your jump drive literally tears a hole in space-time and injects that hole with hydrogen fuel, and your ship goes into the middle of this bubble and maintains the jump field, and then the hole seals behind it. So you're basically in another universe. Anything that gets detached from your ship just goes gone. And it's not like, oh, I'm gone in another universe, because this universe is going to decay after 1 week. It's just gone. It's like more like Rick and Morty, where Rick goes diving through Schrodinger's cats. I don't even think there's cats. So,
this is the perfect garbage dump.
yeah, right. So yeah, you don't want to do any EVA activity or anything like that. But you can, I don't know. Tell me what you guys want to do in your downtime of a week. Is there anything in particular Brady wants to do?
Experimental.
Probably collecting everybody's gene sample.
Nah, first I'm just setting up everything.
So, Brady, what is your character's name?
I am Dr. Latch.
Nice. All right. What about Smith and Wesson?
I'm gonna be experimenting with creating new weapon prototypes.
Okay.
We only work with the slug variety around here. None of that energy weapons.
I use energy weapons.
Do you
They
want
get
to?
off my ship.
So,
I'm kidding. You're
here's the
cheap.
question: do you want to spend the time to work on creating a new prototype, or do you want to maybe modify somebody else's weapon to give them a bonus?
I'll modify my own weapon.
Okay. So go ahead and make a. You're going to need to make 2 rolls. The first, go ahead and make a intellect DM plus your gun combat slug skill. And tell me what you got.
8.
Okay, that is exactly what you needed to make. But you didn't get anything over, so make a education plus mechanic check, and you want to get 8 or better.
9.
Okay, so whatever slug weapon you were just working on is now has an intrinsic +1 bonus to it.
Okay.
How that manifests is up to you. Maybe it's an integrated laser sight, or it just has venting to make it more accurate, but it has a +1 to hit.
Okay. Not damage? Okay.
Right, not damage. So, after a week goes by, you come out into the Mithril star system. And Mithril... Oh, there it is. Why is it?
I guess during that week, Raph would probably be networking,
Okay.
trying to, arrange contacts and things like
So
that.
in drive space, you have no contact with the real universe.
Oh,
There's like no communications, nothing. You are
See.
you are in your own private universe, and you're the only people that live there.
I am a god.
Yeah, basically, that's kind of how that works. But you could attempt to make the same contacts around your crew, theoretically.
Well, we're pretty much going to have to do that out of boredom.
Right, you're going to have to get to know each other, whether you like it or not.
I'll check the ship's computers and see if their security system is up to what I believe it should be.
Okay. So you come out of, you pop out of, after a week, you pop out. Go ahead and, for Raph, make a, I don't know that streetwise, I mean, it could. You guys, so when you guys were making your characters, did you have any connection with anybody else on the crew?
I don't think I did.
I set up a connection with somebody.
I think you're the only, there was that only one opportunity.
Yeah, there was
that
only
we-
one, I think there was only one
I think
time.
it was you and Anthony maybe?
Yeah, somehow you guys ended
I
up
think
with
it
a
was
ton
me.
of skills and like only one contact.
Yeah.
Um,
I think we both know the Jack Vore, my ally guy.
that's right.
We were connected through him.
So basically, the rest of you are all just hired on by Smith and Wesson and Dr. Latch. I would,
Cheap labor.
yeah, I would assume that Dr. Latch and Smith and Wesson have kind of formed your own trading mercantile, since Latch is exorbitantly rich, and Smith and Wesson basically mustered out with this ship free of charge. All that he has to worry about is paying maintenance fees on it. But anyways, you come out of out of jump space after a week, and you see Mithril. Who's operating your communications? Does anybody have electronics comms?
I just have sensors.
I do.
Go ahead and make an education plus comms check. You are picking up a faint signal.
12.
Okay, so you're picking up this faint signal, and you adjust the gain on your receiver, and you are picking up what sounds like what they would call a signal GK. Now, signal GK is the same as an SOS. The Volani were the first Imperium, and signal GK is just kind of carried over. And so this is what you are picking up, and it's coming from the planet Mithril. Everybody can make an intellect check. If you have science history, you can add science to it.
I just have 0 science. That mean, well, it doesn't matter. I get no bonus.
You can add, so
Intellect.
actually, Bjorn, you get that with a boon dice. So you can roll 3d6 and take the 2 highest.
Damn, I got 11 on the dice. Oh, I don't know. Is it a 6?
That's a 2.
All right, then 11.
Well,
plus...
no, it doesn't count. It's on the. It's
Well,
not on the
does
table.
it? Okay. All right.
Oh, it's still 2.
12 on my intellect check.
Nice.
12 here.
7.
4.
Your legs and arms blow up. Smith and Wesson, what did you get?
I got a 7.
And what about Dr. Latch?
I just got a 10.
Okay, so Dr. Latch, Bjorn, and Raph, you find it interesting that there's some kind of signal coming from Mithril, which is this planet. And the reason is that Mithril,
TL2 planet.
yeah, it's cold, like Arctic conditions. Nobody lives there. You do know that there is a small port there, but the Sword Worlds Confederation has a small port there. Nobody really goes here unless they're stopping to refuel, which you guys need to do anyways. And now you're receiving a very faint signal GK coming from the downport on Mithril.
Ah, all right. Well, we need to do a sensor sweep. Let's scan, see if what's going on around here while we try to dig out anything we can from the comm.
Okay. Who's going to do electronic sensors?
That's me.
All right, go ahead and make an electronic sensors. That would be education plus sensors.
All right. 15.
Oop, did we-
What?
Hold on. Say. Okay, sorry. his character. It's Dr. Lash.
Lash?
L.A. But Lash.
That's what I thought. I thought it was Lash. Dr. Lash. Okay, so what'd you get on your sensors check?
15.
All right, so on your sensors check, you are detecting a couple of things. So there is a small blizzard type storm going on over the downport. Thermal imaging on that location is not picking up individual signs, although you are seeing on thermal that the reactor is still live.
Okay.
So you know that they have power. And you are picking up minor trace amounts of radiation.
Ugh.
Not in the range that would be
Yeah,
make you sick. What'd you get on your sensor check?
15.
So the minor amounts of radiation that you're picking up looks like particle weapon fire.
Ah, okay. Alright. Well, guys. Oh, excuse me. Oh, sorry. Well, guys. It appears maybe they had a battle down there. And I'm picking up as a radiation from maybe some hand weapons. We should be very cautious going down.
Need to make my streetwise check to see if that accent is phony as fuck.
It comes and goes.
Here comes and goes. So
To break it to you guys, I don't think that guy's Swedish.
he says he's from the sword world. I don't believe it. So here's the downside. The downside of this is that you're out of gas. You can't jump again. And Mithril's downport would be the obvious place to dock to refuel.
And we would have to take the fat trader down, the Vindersmith down to there. So I suggest we take the scooter and check it out before we put the ship at risk.
Oh, so you want to take the launch down and leave the Vindersmith in orbit?
Yes, we don't want to put the Vindersmith
That's not a terrible idea.
at risk. Let's check to see if they had a battle. Then there might be other spaceships out here hiding in the dark.
Okay, so how does everybody else feel about taking the launch down?
I'm fine with it.
What's the recon skill good for?
So recon in Traveler is like your perception checks. So pretty much everything. It is. We've discovered it's a really important skill, and there have been entire groups that ended up with no recon skill, or like one person had like recon 0. The Saturday night group was like that, where they only had one guy with really high recon, and everybody else was just basically at -3 every time they had to do a perception check.
I got 3 recon.
Nice.
So yeah.
So how does everybody feel about that? Do you guys want to load up into the launch?
Yes. Okay.
Who's piloting the launch?
Ooh, I'll do it.
Is it a small craft?
It is.
I have one small craft, but I
I
think
have one as well.
yeah.
So whoever wants to
Y'all can do it too.
to be the pilot.
I will make some Twinkies for the trip.
He's in the back of the launch.
Got it. Yeah, pack a picnic lunch.
I will make the small craft check.
So you have not purchased the ATV that I suggested for the launch yet, but that's okay. You can get down to the downport. Who's piloting?
Me.
All right, go ahead and make your piloting check. It would be your dexterity modifier plus your piloting small craft.
This one landed like this.
Good
Should I
luck.
have to re-roll this die?
Yeah, you can re-roll that die.
Yeah.
I'm
So,
feeling extra.
15.
Nice.
I'm feeling paranoid. Can I wear my combat armor down?
Certainly.
All right.
I got my back suit on.
Yeah, Mithril Downport. I mean, this is like
Frontier.
this is like being out in the Eastern Oregon desert, and they have one of those little rancher places where you have to pump your own gas. Nobody's gonna say shit if you've got a gun and a holster on your hip. They don't care.
No,
It's almost expected. Nobody goes here. So now, having been from the Sword World, Bjorn knows that the Mithril Downport, what you know about it is that they don't really get very many visitors. It's kind of a shit posting.
And you get shit people at the shit post.
Well, they don't really like the Sword Worlders. Don't really like people from the Imperium, but they, in some cases, they'll form like trading relationships with them, and so those guys are okay. But on the general, if you're flying the Sunburst on the side of your ship, they're like, yeah, get the hell out of our port. And in a lot of cases, like Mithril, you know that the general procedure is that if you're from the Third Imperium, you dock, you fuel yourself up, and then you leave, and there's like no interaction. So Fenris, you're coming down, and it is well, let's find out about it.
Are we Imperium?
So you're from the Third Imperium, but you're right on the border with the Sword Worlds.
Okay, so
And it's not like the Sword Worlds and the Imperium are currently at war. There are some minor arguments and skirmishes, but nothing too terrible.
okay, so our ship is from a distance is Third Imperium.
Right. So you are coming down in the launch, and the launch is basically just a tube with a rocket on the back. And so you're coming down, and you are coming into very cold, windy conditions. Make a piloting check as you come in. You burned in through the atmo, and you're kind of rocking and rolling.
Me?
Yep.
Yeah. Go for it, man.
For small craft?
Mm-hmm. Plus your dexterity.
6.
This determines whether you get paid this week or not.
It could determine whether any of you are getting off this ship or not.
Well, you see, I am getting paid because I have a 9.
Perfect. Okay. So even with the winds buffeting the launch, Fenris is able to land it on the landing pad, which looks like that. Number 1 is where you set down, and there are fuel tanks and processors. Now, where it says 3, there's actually hoses that come off of this docking pad and are in the ice. And so what these hoses do is the end of the hose has a jet flame on it. It melts the ice and sucks it up, and then the fuel processors actually crack the water and they separate the hydrogen, and that is how they fuel your ship. There's our pizza.
Pizza.
Figured out that Wagner is actually the correct pronunciation of ward. And warg from like, there's wargs and wargs.
much
and
do-
mine is the medium.
How much do I owe you for pizza stuff?
They were $19.99, which is more than I expected, but if you want, just send me $10. You can.
Okay. And then for game,
I would normally do like PayPal, but
Sure, thank you.
yeah.
Hey, Gabe, can you
Hey,
hand
it's-
me that table right there? Thank you, sir.
Apple. So I stuck with the ancient Norse mythology thing and went 10 rounds. Okay, let's see. Let's get our.
So, Fenris sets the ship down. No problem.
Well, we look, and I will.
So, leading off from this docking pad, there is a long gangplank, like ferrocrete road that goes from the landing pad all the way to the what would be considered the downport, which consists of a series of prefab buildings surrounded by, for some reason, a chain link fence. It's not like they really have to worry about, anybody breaking in or anything, but they are surrounded by a chain link fence.
TL level 13, high security.
High security, right.
Chain link.
And you don't see like smoke or anything like that. There's just
Can I steal one of these?
Yeah.
there's just the wind and snow.
All right.
In the ship's locker, for those that aren't wearing things like combat armor, there are parkas and whatnot that you can throw over.
On top of my already thick fur.
Well, depends on what kind of dog you are.
More of a husky-y Wagner than.
Well, then you're probably okay in just regular armor.
I don't think I'm wearing armor.
You didn't get armor?
I'll go ahead
didn't
and put on one of those parkas.
I have a.
Do you have any money?
Me?
Mhm.
No, I had to spend it all on my combat armor. After my arm got blown off in Navy battle.
You might ask your glorious benefactor, Dr. Lash, if he would buy you some armor.
Oh, glorious benefactor, Dr. Lash.
I'll buy you cloth armor. It's like $1,000 tops.
Yeah, they're cheap.
Look it up. Just give yourself cloth armor.
Yeah.
Look it up.
Okay.
There you go.
I don't know.
So the other thing that you see from here, you can see this road goes quite a ways, and at the very end of the road, the road just ends, and where you would think that more snow would keep going, there's like a hole. There's a pit at the end of this road.
It's a trap.
I don't know how to use all this stuff, so, but I'm a sensor person, and I bought bugs, a bunch of audio, video, data, bioscan bugs. They're cheap, so I got a dozen of those,
Okay.
and comm dots, and a hand computer that has
Comm dots are excellent.
crap. So I want to use something like a drone,
Okay.
if such a thing exists,
It does.
to check out this hole. And
So, do you have electronics remote ops?
I just have electronic 0.
Okay. So, electronic 0 is enough. You can go ahead and make a Dex plus electronics
So Dex.
to pilot your drone and fly it over there.
11.
So you're able to get this small drone up in the air, and it flies over. And at the end of the road, you see that they have evidently just dug a refuse pit. And it looks like it's been here for quite some time. There are a couple of large items sitting in there. There is one large item that is in there that looks like it was a broken down ATV that had a snowplow on the front of it, and it's just at the bottom of the pit. It looks like it's been there for a while.
And IR didn't show anything, so if there were any warm-blooded things down there,
It
they
looks
have cooled off.
It looks like sometime in the recent past that something has been burned in the pit, but you can't really make out what it was.
Okay, I'll
Make a recon check +3. So it's +3 on what you would normally. It would be intellect plus your recon.
14.
So you drop the drone down closer to the pit, and you can just make out what looks like the edge of a body.
All right. And I know from the IR that that body's cold.
Right.
All right, guys. We're at, you said what place are we?
You're at 1.
We're at 1?
The pit's down at 8.
Ah.
So it's quite some ways.
All right. I'll lift the drone up, get some altitude, and check the buildings,
Okay.
the exterior of the buildings.
So
If they have windows, that'd be great, but this is a frozen hellhole.
go ahead and make another dexterity plus electric or remote sensors or remote ops check. So it'd be electronics.
So just kind of. Oh yes, I am hot. 12.
Okay. So these administration buildings or these buildings are prefabs, part, just interlocking metal pieces with a concrete base. You see, let's see here. One of them has a storm shutter that it's kind of it's like an awning. The awning has come down, and you can see with your drone that it is scorched by particle weapon fire. And we're not talking like hand weapons. It looks like a ship opened fire on the front of this building.
Okay, guys.
Just some unsatisfied customers.
There is
Their gas
damage.
prices are too high.
Looks like the building been shot from space with a beam weapon, and there is a body, or at least one, in the pit. We need to investigate the buildings.
Alright. So then the question becomes 4, 5, 6, 7. Which of those buildings do you want to investigate first? And are you all going together, or are you going to split up?
Go together.
Yeah, never split the party. It's always a bad idea.
I didn't even want to say it. You make me proud.
Yeah, we should definitely go together.
All right. So, and I can let me send Colby and Brady this picture.
Did we pick a building?
Not yet. I'm going to send them the picture as well. There it is. That is the map. And you guys are docked at 1. So the question is 4, 5, 6, or 7, which of those buildings do you want to start at?
5 looks small, and we we could come in from.
6 is the first one we're gonna come across, though, right?
That's true. It'll be the first one. 4 and 6, you know, when you come in that entry, is, you know, 6 is going to be on your right, 4 is going to be on your left, so.
Alright. Six?
I vote for 6.
6. Now,
Yeah,
which was the
6.
one? 6 was the one that was damaged with space plasma. Space plasma.
No, 7's the one that was damaged.
Oh, okay. All right.
So you guys walk down this road, and when you come in, on your left, you can see that there's a windowless brick-shaped structure, which is number 4, with a large access door on the front and a smaller personal entrance on the side. Everything's shut. To your right, you see a small little. It's hard to describe. Have you ever been to like a railroad yard or a construction site? You see those little like buildings, and they got the rickety little stair that goes up to the front door. It's like that. This looks like some kind of office building.
It's a mobile home office building.
Right.
Jasmine.
So, Lissy, can I steal one of your pizzas?
Yeah, of course.
You have some, if you like pepperoni and black olive, you have some. So you're gonna go into 6 then?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Got my laser pistol at the ready.
Yeah, I assume you guys probably have guns out at this point, right?
Mm-hmm.
A laser carbine. Yeah, we're using lasers.
You want me to send in the drone before we barge in, or?
Should be alright.
All right, we're just gonna go in.
So you open the door and you step into a vestibule. And there are racks for coats and a couple of snow shovels. It would be normally unremarkable under most circumstances and be exactly what you would expect on an Arctic planet, except as soon as you open the door, you get the lingering smell of solvent-based cleaning products. And when you look on the wall and on the floor of the vestibule, you see that there's an odd reddish stain here and there.
I'll do a bioscan of the chemicals.
It's like someone got murdered
also have
and
a,
then someone else tried to do a sloppy job of cleaning it up.
I've got an environment reader on my back suit that tells me if it's hazardous.
So,
This chemical.
After you spray the chemicals, you spray bad air freshener.
Go ahead and make an electronic sensors check.
That's intellect and.
Intellect and or education
Or
and
it's-
sensor and electronics.
How do you know which one? Anyway, it doesn't matter.
So, here's the thing. So education is what you would learn in school. So, most of the time, using a computer of some kind is going to be what you've learned. Intellect is just raw intelligence for figuring things out or spotting things. There are cases like if you're trying to invent something new, you're not going to learn that. You have to kind of suss that out for yourself. So,
Okay. Well, 15 is the total roll.
okay, wow. So you determine that that the chemicals smell that you're smelling is not dangerous to you. It is literally just normal cleaning products, but there is enough of the reddish stain that you were able to determine that this was a blood smear. It looks like somebody tried to clean it up.
Ooh, called it, Liam.
Okay.
And when I say they tried to clean it up, your sensors check determines that there was quite a lot of blood here.
Everyone knows you have to spray bad air freshener in the air. Like bad but super generic air freshener.
All right, we're going in a building, so I'm pulling out my static axe.
Why would someone try to clean it up after themselves?
This is gonna be. It's gonna be hard to use a rifle inside a building, so I'm going with my axe.
I have a combat arm with a knife that pops out.
Raph and Smith and Wesson make recon checks. So it'd be intellect plus your recon.
Four.
Wow.
10.
Okay. So I see that Colby has got the same perception in this game that he has in D&D.
Oh.
Smith and Wesson went to look for something, accidentally poked himself in the ear with an ice pick. So Raph, you find as he's checking out, him and Fenris are checking out the blood smear on the floor. You find that the parkas that are hanging up, you find 2 of them. There, a bullet went through and was lodged in the wall.
Nice.
And then there's a door on the opposite side of this vestibule that goes into the main building.
All right.
I pointed out to the other person trained in investigation.
We go to the hole in the wall, we pull out the
Mr.
bullet.
Swedish Chef.
I just cook for the peoples. What?
So all he wants to do
That's
is
right, you
fight
guys
down-
are both cops. I forgot about that.
I'm just gonna walk
All
over and
he wants to do
casually
is
look
fight
at it
now is cook balls.
Okay.
He's got a passion.
with the 3 and investigate.
Go ahead and make an intellect plus investigation check.
14.
Okay. So you determined not only is there 1 bullet, but there was a couple. It looks like it was some kind of automatic weapon that was fired on burst. One of the bullets you pull out does have some blood on it. So it went through whoever it hit and lodged itself in the wall.
Okay.
Things have gotten nasty around here.
I'm gonna watch I'll watch the main door. Take the rear.
Okay.
Make sure that people aren't coming from outside.
Do our 2 military types in armor want to open the door into the main building?
Sure. I'll be your door kicker.
Okay. You always have to have a door kick.
Got to.
I have a lockpick. It's in my boot.
You could.
It looks an awful lot like a crowbar.
Hi, sweetie.
Oh, sweet.
Hi, sweetie.
Aww.
That was.
Which building is this?
So you're still in
Wait a
6.
Oh,
Hating on that fine, loving relationship over there. Talking trash.
So
You hear that?
immature.
You hear that? Talking
you
trash.
probably kiss
about
your
that?
mother when you leave, don't you?
Oh.
Trying to sound all hard over there. Jeez. Like I don't care.
Actually, I can't. My mom's living in Oklahoma.
Yeah.
I thought
Be
she was
nice.
in one.
Be
No?
step
Oh.
man.
She's not that good? You don't call her mom?
Yeah, no, that's
Just feels
alright.
weird.
No.
It does. It
Fair
does. They were all.
When did you take over the lease?
About 4.5, 5 years.
Take
ago.
over the lease.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, it was a package deal. I got
Yeah.
the package deal with their dad.
Alright, fair enough.
Yeah, we miss Mom. Mom lives pretty far away, doesn't get to visit very often. But they talk to her on the phone once or twice a week, yeah?
Twice a week has become regular now. Every
good.
Wednesday and Sunday.
There you go. Wednesdays and Sundays, they talk to Mom.
So you open the door.
Is he the only one?
No, he has 4 little sisters and a little brother.
Wow. When she signed a
Oklahoma.
contract, she really
Yeah.
didn't read the fine print.
He messed up. Yeah.
Yes, I adopted 5 kids.
Next time she signs a
Very
contract, she's
interested.
definitely getting an
And then
attorney
my little
first.
brother, who I've met once, is living with my mom.
Yep.
Oh,
And he's about to have another little sister, right? Yeah.
exciting.
Mom's about to have her 7th kid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
I know. She's doing all the work for me. I always wanted kids. I never really wanted to like make them.
Well, then that
myself.
worked out for you.
Yes,
I
yeah.
mean,
It wasn't a hard sell.
It was a lot
And they're
easier on
all-
the real estate.
Yeah, and they're all really, really great kids. I'm a very lucky person to have such fantastic kids to work with.
Yeah, I tell everybody, because every once in a while I do talk to the other DMs from the
Mhm.
shop. And I'm like, my kids are great. I mean, Anthony's a little ADHD every once in a while, but I mean, what kid that age is it?
How old are you, Liam?
And they're all like,
I'm
are you
actually
serious?
Turning 14 this month.
So Max, so all the kids in the store that were the problem children
Mm-hmm.
that couldn't settle down and play nice with others,
Right.
they all ended up in Max's group. All of them.
What? Really?
Including Landon.
Including Landon.
Yes. And I'm like, holy shit, dude. How do you, I can't imagine. And I'm like, how many are in there? And he's like, oh, there's like 7 of them. And
Whoa.
I'm like, I had a hard enough time with one Landon. I cannot imagine multiplying him by 7.
Wow.
And, oh no, they're pretty good kids. I'm like, are they? Or are you just,
Are they?
I mean, maybe you are a saint.
You are either a saint or you do not pay attention.
Yeah. Like, no, they're really good kids. I'm like, all right, well.
Well, I tell you, my household has gotten so much easier to manage the older that everybody gets. You know,
Oh, yeah.
they're all really motivated kids, and you know, they're all old enough and with it enough to feed themselves, bathe themselves, take care of chores without supervision.
How old are
They
your,
did today.
How old are your sisters?
So I have a 12-year-old sister as of recently. I have a 10-year-old sister as of recently, and then the.
As in, they just had birthdays.
Mhm.
Oh.
I was
As
like,
of
what,
recently, I have a
you-
12-year-old sister.
What, you just keep accruing them? Wow. Your life
Fiona
is
just
rough.
turned 12,
I should
Elena
have
just
just-
turned 10, and the
Sorry, we had to bash your box.
the youngest of the twins, and they'll be 7 in August.
Oh.
So when they came to live with us, they were 2.
Oh.
So it was
And loud.
twin 2-year-olds, and it drove everybody in the house kind of crazy. I know it wasn't just
Oh.
me, was it?
See, I have a boy-girl twin 5-year-old.
Mm.
They are hilarious.
Yeah.
It's
Well,
not bad.
I
though.
think your
Yeah,
little
they do get
sisters
easier
are
as they
pretty
get older.
silly.
Like, about 5, they entertain each other pretty much most of the time.
Oh, absolutely. Ours are best friends.
Okay.
Bestest besties.
So,
Kick the door.
Door kicking.
Door kick.
door kicking.
I don't think my
Kicking chicken.
canine foot is adept at kicking doors.
Probably not. I would imagine you'd probably be right behind him though. So Goose kicks up in the door, and you see that these are very small, little more than a workstation and a few shelves, like cubicle offices.
Oh.
Fenris and Goose make recon checks, intellect plus recon.
Intellect plus recon?
Yep.
Oh, man.
So I have a 10 because my intellect and recon balance each other out. Because I have recon 1 because I'm a Wagner, but I have intellect -1.
No, okay. But you still got a 10?
I still got a 10.
Okay.
4.
Wow. So-
don't know how this guy survived.
Right?
It's the cold. The cold weather just doesn't agree with you.
I don't know how I ended up without recon. That's perplexing.
That is,
to me, but strange.
but it happens. I've seen it.
Strange.
I was looking through the Traveler Companion. They have an alternate way of creation, which, from what I'm seeing, ends up giving you characters that are more like what you guys were kind of expecting. So, like, they're called packages, and so, like, you would have, what's your background package? Well, I was a colonist, and then it's like career package. What do you want to be? I want to be a doctor. Here are these skills. I want to be a Marine. Here are these skills, and you just write it all. You don't have to do any of that crap that we did, and it's like you just generate characters in a matter of minutes because all you're doing is copying over the information.
Yeah.
I like the main way of doing it because it does give you
More
this.
story.
Yeah, it gives you more story, and your character definitely builds with each 4-year term. That's just it. So, Fenris, you see that there is off in the corner, and it is a cubicle that is basically twice as big as all the other ones, and you can see that there is a computer screen on. And there are actually 2 computer screens that are on. There is the double cubicle, and then there is a regular cubicle right next to it, and in between them is the door to the restroom.
All bad things happen in the bathroom. So, I mean...
So we're gonna check that out first.
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Gonna check out the bathroom first.
Okay.
And I'm keeping track of what might sneak up from behind.
So you nudge open the door to the restroom with your carbines barrel, and there's nobody in there. And you can see that the double wide cubicle looks like it was probably the port warden's office, what he would use as an office. And then the cubicle next to him that has a computer screen on, it looks like it was probably his assistant. And both screens are active.
I'll look at what's on the screen, not touching the keyboard or anything.
I'll look at
What's on the screen is just the Mithril downport logo. And I don't even think there is one, but it's like the sword world's a shield with a sword going through it.
Okay.
Very Nordic.
All right.
It's just like a screensaver.
Okay. Oh, I'll let someone with computer expertise mess with
I
it.
have no computer I is not a good typer.
So who wants to use their computer skill to try and do something with this?
What is
I'll
it?
look at it.
Okay.
See what's going on.
So it is locked. You would have to make a difficult 12 plus electronics check.
15.
Nice. So it takes him about 6 minutes, and he hacks into this computer. This is the port warden, and you pull up shipping records for the past few months. You note that the last visitor to the port was a far trader named the Iataka Wasab. Before that, it was another subsidized merchant called the Jinfrey, and it came through a couple of weeks previously. And 3 weeks earlier than that, a Sword Worlder vessel designated only Supply Run 4-14 landed at the port. Appended notes indicate that the Jinfrey makes a semi-regular run from Zybon to Kaldabolg by the way of the Reserve Worlds and is a friendly vessel, meaning her crew interact with the port staff. On this last trip, one of her passengers disembarked and remained at the downport. There is no indication as to this person's identity. Similarly, you find that Supply Run 4-14 has an appended note that supplies were delivered and 4 personnel remained at the port. These people were Eric and Mintel Bofilder, noted to be explorer scientists, and their children, Agino and Runa.
From the Swedish Empire.
Mhm.
Yes, I recognize the name.
And you see that there is another door leading out of this office area.
Well,
Go out.
let's continue. We will research the mystery after we make sure that whoever is shooting other people is not here.
So, this other door, you gonna
Yeah, I'll
kick?
kick it.
All right. So this you kick up in this door, and it looks like this is probably the largest space in this building. It's the center of the building. There are 2 doors off of here. One is into an office area that a very small office area that you can see through. There are windows, 2 sets of bay windows on either side of this door, and through the windows you can see that there are computers and electronics and stuff in there. It looks like that's probably a communication center. The other door looks like it is closed and locked with a digital key pass. However, that's not the most interesting part about this. So you come in, and this would be the administration center, and you realize that this area was originally intended to house a full staff for the port. It looks like the port that you have now was supposed to be expanded and made bigger, and they just never did. But all the desks in this area, it was originally set up kind of like a bullpen. The desks have all been moved to the center, and some of them have been tipped over to create a barricade. There are desks and chairs and clothing. Several sets appear to be homemade. A set of what appear to be homemade skis. There's shit strewn all over the floor of this area. And these skis look like they were formed out of a resilient resin or plastic. However, you can immediately see that there's cracks in them, so it doesn't seem that the experiment was much of a success. You find another stain on the floor, much like the one in the vestibule, in the doorway leading to the doorway to the communication center. And you can see that the walls all throughout here are all pockmarked all the way around you with numerous bullet holes. There's holes in desks. I mean, there was some kind of large fight that went on here.
This was a firefight.
And they had time to prepare.
Right. Yes, they
And
did.
this was a junk room where they stored stuff, and it wasn't really being used for much, and they just piled in here and shoved all the office furniture into a big pile, and
Tried to ski down it.
well,
Try to ski on it, yeah, like you do.
that was probably just junk from their work or whatever.
Apparently you've never had downtime.
Yeah.
You haven't been so bored where you tried to ski on garbage.
You never tried to ski Garbage Mountain?
Going full slalom down
That's
Mount
right.
Trash.
Well, the Swedes are great skiers.
We're great skiers.
It's how we took over the northern hemisphere. Stealth skiing into Russia and to other countries through the North Pole.
So silly. Well, I imagine Raph is just, doing that thing the cops do where they got the gun. Looking around corners, checking everything out, yelling clear.
Well, the good news is that we're looking for something that can carry a gun, not like space leeches.
Maybe space leeches that take over people who can carry guns.
Oh shit. Oh shit.
They got leech brained.
You know, in Futurama, like those weird slimes that just
Yeah.
attach them. Yeah.
Have to get a sandwich from a vending machine.
Worm eggs.
Mm-hmm.
What? I did say egg salad sandwich. Your fault for not asking what kind of eggs.
And he got all boring after eating the egg salad sandwich.
Good hours. Good hours. Good Cassie cat. You want a mood? And you want a mood, Cassie? I said no, no touches. Only looks, no touches.
All right, so we've checked this one for things that are about 2 meters tall.
Brain slugs and humanoids with weaponry is what we're looking for, definitely.
So shall we just pick up the pace and look for things that are human-sized and?
So yeah, you have a door going to the communication center and a door going in that is locked.
Communication center is locked.
Well, the communication center is not locked.
The other door is.
The other door is.
And I can't kick it open?
To the locked door?
Yeah.
How sturdy is the?
How sturdy is the door is what you're asking? Oh, this is a sturdy door.
But you can fill up your bottle.
There's quite a sturdy door.
All right.
But it does have a security keypad. You notice the weird thing about the keypad is that there are no numbers or letters on the keys. They're just blank keys.
Well, that's stupid.
These guys are dicks.
These keys can be whatever you want them to be.
Do we need to get in there? I mean, do we need to go?
Well, I mean, Dr. Lash can try to crack it.
Right now, we're worried about.
I'll take a look at you.
Go ahead and make a education plus electronics computers check.
13.
Okay, so he's messing with the door lock. That's going to take about 5 minutes. And then you have the door to the communication center that has a blood smear on the floor leading to it. Who wants to go that way?
I'll go that way.
Yeah.
Yep.
So you open up the door to the communication center. This is a small room jammed full of electronics. Most of the downport systems are still online and functional. You four make recon checks. Intellect plus recon. And Smith and Wesson can make a intellect plus recon check as well.
Rolling 10's a lot. So 13.
Save.
You what?
11.
Okay.
3.
13.
And you got a 10? You got a 10?
13.
Nice.
After I add the.
I got no skill in it. I got a low end.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, and so it's -3 if you don't have a skill,
it's like
right?
going, how do you,
So what did Smith and Wesson get?
8.
So Lash, Bjorn, and Smith and Wesson, or I'm sorry, Raph, Bjorn, and Smith and Wesson. You notice that around this room where all these comms are, you see that there are sections, there are empty sockets. So it looks like somebody came up and pulled out the data cores from these communication systems and left with them. Dr. Lash, you get the security lock undone, and you see that this was, when you open the door, you realize that this was an armory and a homemade still. There are racks of a dozen rifles. There are 12 advanced combat rifles in here. There are 12 auto pistols. Oh, I'm sorry. There are racks that would hold a dozen of rifles and pistols, but the weapons are gone, and there's no ammunition in here.
Okay.
Never mind on the loot.
You do find some cargo webbing, cleaning equipment, and so forth, suggesting that this armory was looted. And there are 2 bottles of white lightning sitting there.
Oh, see, this isn't an armory. This is just a Marine barracks. That's
This
all
is just a Marine barracks. Yeah, there's 2 bottles of homemade hooch.
If you find any condoms, it's co-ed.
Or not. It's the far future.
Yeah, who knows? All right. Well, have we
You've investigated all of this building.
6.
Yeah.
All right.
Clear.
And there's no windows. These because of the frozen wasteland.
This building does have windows that looks out
and it's
to the white nothingness
and it's a
around
single
it.
floor. So
Right.
Yeah. It's all right. No. And also the construction of these things, are they elevated off so that they don't melt the tundra?
So look, the way these are prefab metal pieces that just kind of snap together like Legos, but they do have like a ferrocrete foundation.
So that's not something that would be a space, a crawl space, or anything. That's a
No,
solid.
it's just a solid
Okay.
block.
Good. All right.
So where do you guys want to investigate next? 4, 5, or 7?
4.
4 it is.
Okay. So there is a large bay door on the front, and then on the side there is a personnel door. Which way are you going into this?
This is
Small
the
tour.
vehicle. This is the garage.
So this is a windowless structure. When you open the doors initially, when you open the personnel door, it's initially dark, but as soon as you take a step in, the overhead lights all go chick, 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 and light up. There is a cradle there for an air raft, but the air raft is missing. However, there is another vehicle, and it looks like this. And I will send this to you guys.
An ATV.
It is an ATV.
Yay.
It's like a big one. With a snowplow in the front.
Yes.
Anybody drive it?
It has wheels. I could drive it.
It does have wheels. It's not tracked. So that's sitting there.
The cradle for the hovercraft,
For the air raft.
air raft, is it scratched up and that as in there was something there, or is it just, does it look like it's
Make an investigation check.
like,
Intellect plus
is there
in-
oil
in-
spots underneath it and all that other jazz?
Yeah, make an intellect plus investigation check.
GHI investigation. Oh, I'm good at that. Okay.
I made one. It's not there now.
9.
Yeah, that's what you know. You know that it's empty.
Sent it.
On your 9, you can see that, yeah, there was something here.
Okay. So guns missing, vehicle missing. Carrying on.
Data ports missing.
Data ports missing.
Accent
Data
missing.
ports.
What?
Oh,
Accents.
Accents
missing.
missing.
Missing. Laryngitis.
Yeah.
He's kicking in.
Who has drive wheeled?
I have 1.
I do
I thought
hovers.
somebody had better wheels than me.
I thought so too.
Maybe it was Anthony.
I just have drive wheel 1.
Oh, okay. So we both.
So-
Okay.
Smith and Wesson, you open up the door to this ATV. This is a Sword Worlder ATV, so it is a little bit different than designs that you are used to in the Third Imperium. This vehicle will never run out of fuel. It's kind of built like a Corvair, in that there is a small fusion reactor in the ATV under a central hump in the floor. And so it doesn't have as much internal space as a ATV that you were used to. However, it won't run out of fuel, and it has a big snowplow on the front. And you find under the sun visor, there are the keys.
Well, we
That's a
had
place for him.
we had plenty of
No, no,
space
no.
in the back of the Fat Trader. for
Yeah, we gotta make sure to get this back there.
Yeah, this is like, I forget how much ATVs cost, but they're on the expenditure list of like a really fancy motorhome. So you might have to mortgage your house to go buy one.
Mega credits 2.3.
I
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
think
This
people
one's
here-
2.3 million. So,
I don't think these people will need it.
Well,
They're pretty dead.
there is a record of our ship coming here, so we might not want to be. Unless we can like
No
claim,
record that
we
we
got to
took
find
it.
out what happened. If we can,
They didn't take a record.
Hmm?
They didn't take a record.
well, it's all electronics. We could hack it.
all of
out.
a sudden, you guys see a bright blue flash, and the lights go out.
I hit the deck.
I just fall to the floor.
Yeah.
In the garage.
Yeah. And this bright blue flash, it goes out a ways from the garage.
Now, what door did we? There are no windows here, so what door? Where did this source? Is it like the?
It came from inside the garage.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry. No, it did not come from inside the garage. It came from near the garage, though.
So
It came from inside this compound that you are in.
But we have no windows, so it came in. The door was.
So it
still
came from
ajar.
somewhere in the middle of this area here.
We left the door open. Okay.
All of your electronics, your scanners and everything, blip out and are rebooting.
Ugh. What about my eye?
Your eye blips out and is rebooting.
Shit.
What about my laser
arm.
carbine and my arm?
Your laser carbine is rebooting and your arm goes limp.
Oh no.
It'll take a moment to reboot. Dr. Lash and Smith and Wesson, make an intellect check.
I'm now left-handing.
I'm scrambling
Right.
towards the door as fast as possible to try to barricade it, lock it.
5.
Wow.
He doesn't work well under pressure.
What about Smith and Wesson?
We
So
got-
I'm assuming the ATV won't work either.
You might be surprised. What'd you get for your intellect check?
9.
So on your 9,
Lay off the chips.
you know a couple things. The first thing is that flash was an EMP pulse,
Of course.
and 2, you know that the ATV looks like it was shielded.
Okay.
And you determine that the EMP pulse looks like it came from the reactor shed.
So the reactors.
Which is
The
what,
reactor
5?
shed is number 5.
I see.
Bjorn is scrambling to the door to pull it shut and to try to do something. The people that have been shooting people are outside,
Right.
and all the rest of it is crap. The people are here, first off, something's happening, and 2, they're not in the building, so I'm closing the door and doing whatever I can to make sure the door doesn't open without effort.
Okay.
And then we can think and figure out what to do.
Yeah, you're able to find a big wrench and kind of jam it in the door so that it's held shut.
Okay. Well, the murderous assholes are still here.
At least he doesn't sound like Toki. Yeah, I got some cod piece too. You've seen that episode, haven't you?
I don't think so. What is it? I'll have to look.